You know what? I first of all want to start by saying that you are definitely an admirable individual. You have been an entrepreneur since forever. So I think that you have a wealth of information to share with your viewers, with the people that, support and follow you. But recently, you have made quite an interesting transition as far as your business goes. So can you tell us a little bit about that? Help us to understand.
Okay, so for many people who are looking, hi Janelle, Brownie,
Hey,
just waved. That's my cousin. But
okay.
Within the last 2 years, I have pretty much solely focused on building Bermuda Born. Before Bermuda Born, I managed a magazine in Bermuda called Show Off Magazine. It was a magazine for young adults. And it talked about everything. It was a lifestyle magazine. So I did that for several years, from 2004 up until 2016. And then I stopped at 2016 because I wanted to focus on growing Show Off as a brand. And it was always my long-term goal to get back into fashion. I kind of fell into advertising, but I always studied design, which many people probably did not know. So I went back to the school to specialize in accessory design. I went to London College of Fashion in 2010. So it's been a long journey. It's not an overnight thing where I just suddenly said I'm going to launch the brand properly last year, but the last 2 years I've been slowly getting to this point. So I did the specialization degree in leather product design for 2 years in London, came back home, worked a bit. Then, I worked several different jobs in several different industries. I'm still working because when you start a product-based business, it requires a lot of investment. Just see the final outcome of seeing products on the shelves. And they think that you're making a profit, but you're really not. You're just starting to get product out there and then recoup the cost so that you can turn around and reinvest in buying more product to add to the line, and then start sampling out newer products, which then cost even more to add to the collection. So it's a constant, it's been quite a journey. So I graduated in 2012. It's now 2018. It's taken me 6 years to get to this point. Last summer I had an official launch with just friends and family. They saw the first major collection. I took out a loan to do that, and I'm in this for the long haul. And I have to say that having owned a business before this has prepared me for this product-based business. Before I was in advertising. So in advertising, you do not have any tangible products. It's very service-based. So what I did was I went around and I sold advertising space, something intangible, which did not require a lot of capital to do. So everything we made, we paid off our bills. It was profit after that. With a product-based business, everything you make, you reinvest into more product plus other overheads. So needless to say, we're still growing the business. So that is where we are right now, to sum it all up. And and you have seen the journey because we talk. You and I have been friends for a very long time. And you also used to write for Show Off magazine, and you did a lot of self-help columns. And if there's anybody more knowledgeable to talk about helping someone in their career, in their business, helping them to strategize and sort out their priorities, it would be you. So I'm glad to have you, Latanya Parsley, tonight to talk with me about where I am now, and just to try to help other entrepreneurs through my example, what I've been through, to figure out how they're going to get to their next steps.
Well, you know what? I think you made a lot of really, really critical points that a lot of people who are chasing that entrepreneur dream, they want to get out of that 9-to-5, hustle and bustle 9-to-5, that they want to work for themselves, right? And I think that we're in an era and an age where we have so many different resources to facilitate that, wouldn't you say? However, you mentioned that it's not overnight. And I think that a lot of people, when they're going into the life of an entrepreneur, they don't really recognize that it's not going to be an overnight thing, that it's going to take a lot of investment of your own money and time. And that a lot of entrepreneurs actually do end up working a 9 to 5 on top of working on their what we call their side hustle or their own business. It takes a lot of work before you actually can decide that you can jump off and just completely work on your business completely, without having to work a 9 to 5. So, what would you say, what would be like the key to being able to manage both the 9 to 5 and also, your dream job of what it is that you want to do, your own business? How do you manage both without losing your mind, basically? How do you do that without going crazy?
For me, I don't know if it comes quite natural. I guess I can say it comes quite natural. So you just asked me, how do I manage working my 9 to 5, which pays the bills, which helps me to reinvest in my business, with keeping the business going, keeping my enthusiasm, staying basically motivated, staying focused, staying on track to get into the end result. How do I manage that? There is no easy way to manage it. I think everybody has a unique way of managing, or basically multitasking with their lifestyle, with their family, with their friends, with financial obligations, with what their boss needs from them, with everything around what society wants out of you. So there is no easy way to do it. You just have to do it in the order of the priority that's happening within your life. If you know that you have personal things that you cannot brush aside to just focus on your business, then you have to take care of that, of course. But I would just say start with writing things down. The number one step to accomplishing anything for me has always been to write it down on paper, because when you write it down on paper, something very supernatural occurs.
Magical.
Magical. Call it. Law of the universe. The universe works with you, because it says if you're serious, you've taken time to write it down, you stop talking everybody's heads off about this idea. You put it on paper, which means you're serious about it, and you start to formulate more concrete ideas. And that stuff does come to life. I've heard many people say it, and I've done it. It's a practice I've always lived by. I have a little journal. Write down your goals. Write down, okay, even if it doesn't happen, even if it feels far-fetched, even if you have 1,000,001 other things to do, write it down. You can start by saying, okay, between now and 3 months from now, I want to have this part of the business done. 6 months from now, I want to have my manufacturers chosen. 12 months from now, I want to go into production. And then in between all those things, you start to make a list of ideas on ways in which you'll reach those points. So I just say write it down, and also give yourself a break, because if you have a lot of responsibilities at home or personal commitments, do not put that pressure on yourself. I put a lot of pressure on myself because luckily I don't have kids. And I don't have a mortgage and all these things that a lot of grown folk have. So it gives me more freedom and flexibility to be very selfish towards obtaining my goals. I can be very laser focused and go into my cave, and I can just work day and night. I can literally knock off from work at 5, and 6 o'clock have gone back into business mode. I could be working on my lunch break. I could be working on a 15-minute break, responding to an email. I just work every chance I get, because when you realize the power of time and how little there is, for me, I love to work towards a deadline. It's a challenge. So if you have all these things against you, try to look at it as a challenge. Try to feel like you're going to beat that time frame, and you're going to work quicker than you ever thought was possible. And actually, when you work for yourself, you work a lot harder. So if this is something you really want to do, you will find a way to do it, and you'll work a lot harder at getting there. And if you find that you're easily discouraged, then maybe there's something that you're not doing correctly, or maybe you need to go seek the advice of somebody that has an easier method of getting there. Or maybe it's not the right business to do, because also if you're really finding that you keep coming up against bumps and challenges and you can't figure it out and it seems really far-fetched, sometimes it might be too far-fetched. So some business isn't that difficult. It should be a clear-cut path. There's a strategy to getting to the end of every goal. So if you can't see that strategy, if somebody who's already worked in the industry is telling you there's no way to do it that way, then revisit your idea.
Mm-hmm. Well, you actually mentioned the goals, and I think that's part of, and also having difficulty working through those goals and achieving those goals that you set for yourself. And that's part of why life coaches like me exist, because sometimes people, we're human, we get stuck. And you are an extremely motivated individual. I have known you pretty much all your life. But then there are some people who get really easily stuck. They come across obstacles and they're really not sure how to maneuver them. Right. And so for those people, I would say, like Patrice mentioned, seek the services of a life coach, because life coaches specifically are there to help you maneuver those obstacles and get you unstuck. One thing that I would say as being a life coach is that when you have all these major goals, I think it's really important to write them down, like Patrice mentioned. But small steps to your big goal is key in order to stay motivated.
Yes.
Again, for the people in the back, I said small steps. Can I get an amen? Small steps to big goals is the key, all right, to success. Because as humans, we can get overwhelmed. So if we chart these tiny steps towards those major goals, you'll find that you're able to celebrate and see more success along the way to that major goal. So that's just my little, tidbit.
And I can actually chime in on that.
Yes, Brownie.
Yes.
We're preaching up in here. Okay? We are preaching.
Yes, we're taking it to church tonight.
Yes.
So like getting back to that whole small steps idea, I like the premise of that, because oftentimes people who want to be entrepreneurs or people who are running their own business say to me, I am so overwhelmed. I'm thinking about the big picture. All of these things still have to get done. Right now it's just a clutter in my head. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because I can give you an example of how I feel overwhelmed sometimes. There are times when I just keep thinking, by the way, updating my website I just do not like to do it. It's my weakness. It's not that I can't do it. It's just that it takes so much brain power to switch off what I'm doing to then think about, how did I put this website together again? And how do I take down this picture, upload a new picture? How do I move sequences around and slideshows and take them down and re-edit photos to fit in this annoying spaces that move on your template? So it's a lot to do. And these are things that when you're starting out, you have to learn to do everything. You can't afford to pay $2,000 to somebody to update it every month or whatever they want to charge you, because these fees add up. Amongst all the other things that you still have to pay for. So like for me, I do get overwhelmed. I think about, today I have to update my website. I have to go and call the photographer and get him to take new pictures of product. Then I need to go and pick up the product. Then I have another shop that's not merchandising the product correctly, so I have to go in the shop. Then I have to email the buyer, or I have to email the inventory manager and let them know I'm not happy. And I have to think about how to do all these things in a polite way so that they can still carry my product the next time I'm ready for it to happen. Or then I have to email the factory and get a quote for a new product that I want to sample. And I want the sample to be here in 3 weeks so that I can order enough product for Christmas to be here in a certain time. Then I have to pay DHL from the last shipment. Then, the list adds up. And then I start thinking, oh my God, I have to do all this before tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and I've only done one thing between yesterday and say the next day, because something came up which required me to leave the house and, say do a job interview and then go and do an errand and wash clothes and buy groceries and other things. So
it's hectic.
It can get like that sometimes. So all I can say is Write it down. Give yourself a timeline. Give yourself breathing room in case you don't meet that timeline, so that you know at least you can tick off everything that you're accomplishing as you go along.
Yeah. And one thing that we didn't even address, but it's so important, is self-care. I don't care if you are an entrepreneur. I don't care if you're working, just a regular 9 to 5. I don't care if you are stay-at-home mom. Self-care is vital, people, because you will burn out. You will burn out. If you do not take some time to yourself to recharge those batteries, you will burn out. It's really important, as part of the entrepreneurial process, to stop, pause, breathe, take care of yourself. When you're recharged, jump back in. And do you have any special self-care?
You see my face.
What is it? What does that look? What is
the
that?
cheapest way for me to self-care is get sleep.
Get sleep.
And even then, it's hard because this week I've actually been challenging myself to get in bed at 10 o'clock at night.
Amen.
But even then, when I do that and I say, okay, no phone, no iPad, don't even look at YouTube on TV, don't even turn on TV, because now your brain starts thinking about researching some stock in fashion, because now you're wanting to learn to trade and learn about other businesses, what they're doing. Just stop. So I'm now trying to tell myself, stop looking at anything, stop processing anything. If anything you should do is pick up a book. And by the time I pick up a book, it puts me to sleep. But lately, even when I stop and I say I'm going to go to bed, I just end up laying there and feeling very hot because the weather is very humid and feeling very restless. So it is a challenge, because in my mind, I'm thinking about all the things I didn't accomplish today, and I'm feeling very annoyed with myself because I put so much pressure on myself to get a lot done within a short time frame, because I understand that Christmas is coming and I want to have product available. When people start asking, what do you have that I can buy for Christmas, which happened last year, and last year I didn't have the cash flow to have enough product and stuff, and this year I'm feeling I should be in a better position than last year, but I don't feel like I'm that much better off, because this year I put a lot of money into into paying off my loan as quick as possible and running a really tight ship. So these are all the things that swirl around in your mind. So you do have a level of, not guilt, but you're still not doing it good enough yet. So I can't really say that there's any easy way to take care of yourself besides get the basics, eat well, and get sleep. And if I get a chance, luckily I have a dog, so he forces me to go for a walk. And I think for the most part, that keeps me balanced. A bit of exercise. I made sure that I eat my vegetables and I'm drinking water, and I make sure that I get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night, which is very difficult for other people who may be in a role or may have a business that's a lot more demanding. And I think over the years I've learned to manage my time more. When I was younger, I would just burn at both ends. I'd fall asleep on the laptop and I'd wake up on it. But now I just decided that's not the life I want to live anymore, and I'm going to make the business wait on me. I'm not going to be chasing the business. So if it means it's going to take my business a few more years to get off the ground, then that's what I will do. But I've just come to a point where when it's in its right time, the success will come. But I have that knowledge now to be confident in my skill set, to know that things take time and it will happen in its right time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for everyone who may watch or listen to this, I think more than anything, I'm sure that they can appreciate your transparency about the process, because, again, a lot of people don't really know or aren't really aware of, the dark side, the not so glamorous side.
The side of running a business.
Yes, it's not pretty, and it
sucks all the life out of you.
Yes, see, listen to this woman. She tells you, I see no lie, basically, is what I'm trying to say here. Because even though we are in different different areas, different career areas, I can attest to that. Like, there are times where you are gonna feel like, am I doing the right thing? No one is, I'm not getting as many whatever, and so it's easy to get it's easy to lose motivation. It's easy to question yourself, but there's a not so glamorous side to so you have to.
But I don't want to dwell on the not so glamorous side, because tonight's all about empowering people to get into business and to get advice. And I think a lot of people know there's a lot of sacrifice that comes along with owning a business. That's why many people don't own a business.
That's right.
They do see the end result and they think, oh, you're so free and you have this business and this nice product and everybody knows your product. But that's as far as it goes. But there is a lot of internal satisfaction. So you have to decide what's going to drive you with this business. Is it going to be money? Is it going to be the end result of people liking your product? Is it going to be that eventually one day you call your own shots, you'll make your own time? But if it's those things, still know that yes, there's always going to be hard work. It's just the price you pay with owning a business. But again, there are a lot of rewards. Personally, I take a lot of self-satisfaction in seeing that I've made something come alive. I breathed life into something that was not there before, that I've been able to use my own creative knowledge to make a beautiful product. And I got a lot of self-satisfaction. And I got that when I owned my magazine, being able to brainstorm for articles and think up innovative stories and show people in a really good light and do really fun, cool photo shoots and work with people. I enjoyed the whole process of putting it together. So if I did not enjoy that, there would be no other reason for me to carry on, because it did not pay that well. I could have easily worked 9 to 5, made the same amount of money, more money, went home, had all night to myself to relax, plan trips for the whole year. But that wasn't the case owning my business, my previous business before. But the difference was I enjoyed what I did. And a lot of people may be working 9 to 5 and going through the motions, but they may not really get a lot of self-satisfaction. So money isn't always the end goal. So
that's it.
What it is that you are willing to get out of it, and know that there will be some measure of sacrifice along the way.
That's it. When you said money as the motivator, I was like, well, if that's going to be your main motivator to start, and it's your only motivator, I don't know that is probably the best way to start off, because I think a lot of entrepreneurs, and I'm sure you can attest to this, in the beginning, you don't really make a whole lot of money. Sometimes you may not make any money
for a few years.
For a while, right? And so a wise person once told me that honestly, if you focus on something outside of money, like the love for what it is that you do, or like you mentioned, being able to see that you are making a dream come alive. For me, it's being able to see people's lives literally change right in front of me, and know that I helped to facilitate that growth. When you focus on things like that, the money comes very easy. It just flows very easily into your life. So I would really have a really honest come to Jesus moment with yourself as an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur, and really figure out what it is that's driving you.
Yeah. So for me, what made me leave my last business was because it no longer drove me. I realized I started that business not out of passion, but out of need to prove somebody right that I could start a business, and that I would not waste my university degree. And at the time, I couldn't find a job in the field that I had studied, which was fashion design. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to waste my degree. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to prove to them that their money wasn't wasted. And it just so happened that I became very good at it, and it became very popular. It was successful. But in the long run, I realized I'm working so much. I have no personal life. It doesn't satisfy me. Yes, I'm happy to have shown the best, people in their best light, showing their accomplishments. But now it's time for me. I want to do what I really love to do. So let's get back to business. Let me go back to school and specialize in what I started doing and get on with it. So that's what you have to do sometimes. You have to do the things that drive you. And I feel like now I'm walking in my purpose and the thing that I really want to do. So I feel that there's no way that I will not be successful, because I've finally done what I wanted to do.
Yeah. You know, it's so interesting because I think a lot of people may not necessarily be aware of the fact that with the entrepreneur life comes transition, comes change, and that you may not necessarily be doing the same thing forever. And that,
Yes.
you know, it's all about flexibility and recognizing that you may transition from one area within, you know, entrepreneurship, within running your own business to another area, and that's okay. But it's all about being flexible.
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah. So if anybody has any questions, I just want to take a little time to do a shout out to the people who are watching. If you have any questions about getting into business, we're talking about that tonight. We're talking about our journeys. This is Latanya Parsley. So she's a life coach, and she's talking about what she knows about how entrepreneurs figure their way out through the journey. And I'm Patrice Morgan, the owner and founder of Bermuda Born, and I'm talking about my experiences and sharing examples of what I've been through, and some of the struggles and the good times, and just my journey from one business into this business. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask us. We will be here, maybe not that much longer, but I just wanted to let you know that this is our very first video / podcast, and I will be doing more of these series, having other guests on the future, and Latanya and I will continue to talk, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed what we've been talking about thus far. So we'll talk for a few more minutes, and
That's right.
if you do have any questions, feel free to chime in. We'll be watching as you watch live.
That's the way, people. That is what we're here for.
Just want to give a shout out to Serge and her business. She's doing very well with her business. She has a strong following. She's based in Bermuda. She does exporting. She exports her shea butter product. That seems to be the main ingredient in most of her products, even though she does other products. But she does shampoos and conditioners and hair souffles. She specializes. Yeah, she specializes in natural hair products, which
Girl, you know,
is something that has been lacking for a long time in the international beauty market. So it's really nice to see a homegrown Bermudian.
I love it.
Doing her thing and being successful. So it just seems like this is a revolution starting to happen in Bermuda right now, and it's really nice to see people pushing forward.
Yes,
and who is this next? Patrick James, BDA. Thanks for coming tonight. Thanks for listening to us.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Well, shout out to all those Bermudians. All those Bermudians, you know, young Bermudians hustling and doing your thing. I see you. I see you. Okay. And I'm so proud of you, Patrice. I'm proud of all the young Bermudians making it happen, making their dreams come true. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I am proud of you as well.
Oh, Mr. Simmons, Michael Simmons, old classmate.
Okay, Michael.
He also is a bit of a young entrepreneur right now. He's doing he has his own yoga business. Michael,
the African inspired clothing.
That's true. So
I love his stuff as well. Nice designs.
Right.
One day I want to get my hands on a piece as well. So we're watching you. Another Bermudian as well. So we are welcome. We're seeing a lot of Bermudians starting up over the last few years, and even if you're here tonight, you're not from Bermuda. You know, thanks for joining us as well. This is not just a Bermudian thing. This is an international movement that we're doing here. Bermuda is small, but we can make a very big footprint. So we're here.
Mike.
Yeah.
Yes, you gotta lift each other up and support each other. So that's what community is all about. And
so why don't you talk about where you are right now in your business and what you're doing, because you got to give us some information about the challenges you're facing, because I know for a while you've been growing your life coaching business, and I know there are a lot of life coaches now, but there's something very special about you, and you've been very instrumental helping me at times with my challenges, and just helping me to sort out my thoughts with the struggle. So tell us about you and where you are in your business and what stage you're at.
Right now, I do work a 9 to 5 like you, but I'm also working on several different projects. But mainly, I am a life coach. I work with people, like I mentioned earlier, to overcome obstacles to any goals that they have in their lives, and to just help facilitate, growth and positive change. That's what I'm about, and that's what I've been doing since 2015, actually. And I do have a background in clinical psychology, but I am a certified life coach. And so, like I mentioned, I'm always trying to figure out new ways to develop and to grow my business. I research the need that's out there, and then I act accordingly. So, it's like we mentioned earlier, entrepreneurship to me is all about being flexible. It's about researching what the need is out there, and then trying to feed that and meet that need. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. I have a coaching business. I also have a project regarding empath and highly sensitive children that I co-founded with another young lady who lives in Atlanta, Georgia. So yeah, we're just
talk about that. What's that project about? Because tell us what an empath is.
Okay. Well, basically, an empath or a highly sensitive person is a person that feels and is sensitive to the emotions of other people around them. They're sensitive to their environments. For example, being in large crowds for a highly sensitive or an empath person can be very jarring. It can be very, disturbing and upsetting, because of the fact that they're so sensitive to other people's energy. If you can imagine being at a concert, there's hundreds and thousands of people. If you're sensitive to other people's energy, that can really throw you off. So our focus with our business Kidtuitives is to actually work with kids, with young kids who are empaths and who are highly sensitive, to help them help them work through those emotions, help them to identify their emotions, and just be able to, function in a very overstimulating world.
Yes, this world is very overstimulating. That's why it's very important to have focus. And I can circle that back around to being in business. So be really helpful to have someone like you in an entrepreneur's corner when they feel that overwhelmed at any point. So that's great what you're doing with the kids and with the empath project, and also just in general with your life coaching and the direction that you're taking your business in. So good for you. It's really good to hear that.
Thank you, Tracy. And thank you for keeping us all looking fly with your luxury leather handbags and all of that. I mean, a sister has to look good. So I thank you.
And just you stay tuned, because we are introducing more products to the brand.
Ooh.
And also we've recently launched a sister brand called Fennel. Ooh. And you can find it under shop_Fennel on Instagram. Literally today I put up the website, which is fennelonline.com. And Fennel basically...
Say that website again, I'm sorry.
fennelonline.com. Okay. So basically I started Fennel Online because I needed to give customers an alternative to Bermuda Born in terms of price, because Bermuda Born is more on the high end side, and I don't want people to have to deliberate too long over whether they want to get their hands on a piece of my product, on a piece of product that originated out of Bermuda. I want everybody in Bermuda to say that they have had been able to afford one of my bags, or from the Bermuda Born / Fennel collection. Especially you want your own people to support your brand, don't you? So they're going to be first customers. So I just want it to be obtainable. And then also internationally, I want international orders to come through, and I don't want to have to wait 3 months for someone to buy a very expensive Bermuda Born can bake. So this is what you have to think about when you go into business. You want to
Flexibility.
cater to, if you do want to cater to different budgets and people and different clientele, it's just getting the mix and the assortment right.
That's right. And doing your research, you know,
Yeah.
that's one thing that I found to be really, really helpful is researching and seeing what the need is and then acting accordingly. You know, you might think that there's a particular need for something, or that everyone, like Patrice, you know, is saying, not everyone can afford a luxury high-end brand, you know, so then doing your research and finding out, okay, so what can people afford, and tailoring it to meet those needs. That's a huge part of entrepreneurship.
It's so important. I'm sure you know all about research. I mean, with what you do, you spend so much time learning about people and researching different methods and strategies and ways to advise people. And the same thing it goes across the board with any business that anybody decides to go into. Research will drive your business. It's not always about what style you like or what product you want to carry or what service you want to offer. You need to figure out, what do the people want from you? What can your business provide that they really need? So sometimes it requires that, you know, the initial excitement of what you thought was going to work out. You may have to tweak that and find a product or service that is actually in demand. So step number one, getting into business, learn who your customer is and what they want, or else you waste a lot of money and a lot of time.
That's right. Let me tell you, you guys need to listen to this woman. She has definitely given me some very, very good priceless gems as far as, you know, starting my own business. You know, I will never forget one time you told me, I was like, you know, Patrice, I'm so like discouraged because there's like 1,000,001 life coaches. And I just feel like, how am I going to make a name for myself? How am I going to stand out? And you said, you know, you shouldn't let that discourage you. If I let myself be discouraged because there were thousands of other you know, people who designed purses, then I would never do this. But the fact of the matter is, you know, there's somebody out there who will want what you have and who will want what you offer. Don't worry about everybody else and what they're doing. Just recognize that for every person that that has a need, you can meet, you know, if it's for them.
Yes. And the thing about people is that it's all about relationships, right? So there's someone for everybody out there at the end of the day. Somebody, even though there may be thousands of life coaches, there isn't a life coach that's just like you.
Right.
There isn't a life coach that has your personality, that has your bedside demeanor, that has your intuition, that has that va-va-voom.
That's right.
Somebody like you. So there's always somebody for somebody. So I feel that the market is never saturated, and no matter what field you get in, there's always a way that will separate you from the rest. And I feel like if you're passionate about what you do, you're gonna stand out. And a lot of people that do things just to do things for money or other things, but you can tell the people who are passionate, who've done the research, who's educated, and those are the ones that make it. And when I look at you and when I talk to you and when you advise me, I know that you have something, that factor that a lot of people don't have. I know even doctors don't even have that. So you can't always compare yourself to the rest. You have to stand on your own confidence and on your own knowledge and on your own motivation and just go and do it. And then when you see how people are responding to you, you have to let that continue to drive you and continue to build from that point on. But as you get one client, it'll fuel your motivation for the next client, and then the next client, and they'll tell other people. So also word of mouth is a very powerful thing. So you just stay focused. I tell people, don't even look around when you get in business. Do it in the beginning for research purposes. Know who the competitors are. But at the end of the day, go back into your own world, center yourself, ground yourself, and focus on your end goal. And you will get there a lot faster. And then the competition will be looking at you saying, do you know what so-and-so is doing? Even the bigger people start looking at you, because a small person, one small entity or one individual can can cause bigger waves than a corporation, because a corporation has to work through many different figureheads to get many different sign-offs and the OKs, whereas you have a lot more freedom to do what you like to do and to move how the market moves. So just look at it in that perspective.
So very true, my friends. So very true. I hope that you know, for the people who were watching, that they were able to find something that really uplifted their soul this evening and give them that extra boost that they need. If you're considering starting your own business, there are people like Patrice who are more than willing to be a resource, you know, to give you tidbits. I mean, I'm telling you, this woman, she knows her stuff. She definitely knows her stuff. Like, I swear to God, was probably a life coach in a past life. But anyway, like she you know, she knows her stuff. And you know, if it's not Patrice, find somebody else that
find a mentor, because I can't be a mentor to everybody. But what I will do is I will start these conversations on Instagram, and I will bring on various people from various backgrounds, so that no matter who's tuning in, maybe one week something might apply to somebody, and another week something else will apply to somebody else. But just stay tuned to Bermuda Born's Instagram channel, and I will try to give you guys a heads up tonight. I didn't, because it's our pilot, and I just said I'm just going to do a pop-up Instagram live video.
She's so spontaneous.
I am, because again, it comes back to time as well, because I'm also wearing 10 hats right now, operating the business. So when I get time, and thankfully you were able to meet me tonight on such a short notice, when I get time, I will talk to you guys about entrepreneurship and education, because I want to be able to give back. I don't want to just take. So also, it's important that when you are operating a business, find a way to give back, whether it's your knowledge, whether it's your time, whether it's product, whether it's sponsoring something. Do what you can do. I'm not asking you to do something you cannot do, but even if it's very small, you know, answer a phone call for a student or somebody who just wants maybe a reference or some type of advice. So this is my of giving back and representing the company, and hopefully we'll roll out more of these entrepreneurship talks. So
definitely,
thank you very much, Tanya Parsi, for joining us.
Thank you.
Like Coach, if you guys want to connect with her Instagram handle, you can mention it now.
Yeah, so my Instagram is girlaboutchange_life-coach. So if you are interested in learning more, you can definitely reach out to me there.
Yeah, so it's been a really great night. I hope you guys have a great weekend. It is Friday night. I know people are out having a good time, but this video will continue to live on, and hopefully whoever didn't get a chance to see it can still watch it in the real time, or you can, if you joined us late, you can go back and see the entire thing when we end this conversation. So until next time, we're signing out.